All right. Good afternoon, Who That Nation. Welcome to the WDN Chatline podcast. This is the host CB, and I hope you guys are having a wonderful Thursday with your work week. I definitely am. I got the day off, but I have a lot of stuff to do later on today. So day is going good for me. Like I said, hope it is for y'all as well, Who That Nation. So today's show, it would not be a very long show, and usually I like doing the preview show usually on Friday because we get more of a outlook of who's actually going to be out there. But looking at the injury report, you can kind of tell, who will be out there and who won't. So that's pretty much how today's show is going to consist. You guys know how we get down on the preview show. We're going to start on our offense versus their defense, and then their defense versus our defense versus their offense. But before we do that, I do want to say the MOD will be joining soon, so I will have Uptown in the building today with me as well. So I'm gonna go ahead and get to the comment section. I see the OG Jerry in the building. He said, "CB, who that to you, OG? Hope you're having a wonderful week." So what we're going to do, we're going to go ahead and get started with the injury report. The injury report, just give me 1 second. I'm going to pull this up. Injury report, I'm going to give it to us on our side, and then I'm going to talk about the Patriots injuries. Okay, so let's see. Wednesday, as you know, practice is going on today, so I don't got the injury report for the day, but I do got it for yesterday. So Jawan Johnson was limited with an ankle injury. Kamar was also limited with an ankle injury. We'll see how that plays out. Trevor Penning is limited with an ankle injury. I'm not losing sleep over that. Dylan Randall's a toe injury. He was a full participant at practice Wednesday. Justin Reed concussion protocol, so that was a concussion he suffered. He was limited today on Wednesday, so I'm pretty sure he will be touching the field Sunday. And then we got Caesar. He was limited. I seen some sources say that Caesar. Well, actually, I seen Nick Underhill, was giving kudos and respect to Caesar. A high ankle sprain is usually a 4 to 6 week injury, and that he's fighting through it. He's trying to get out there. I'm gonna be honest, Cesar Ruiz, bro. Um, you're not 100%. Even at 100%, you're getting whipped. So all you're gonna do is do more damage to the team, and it's a disservice to Spencer Rattler. So just respectfully, man, just sit it out. Just sit it out, man, and go through the whole process. Um, After a month, you can try to see where you're at then, but trying to fight through it, man. You're not like that. You're not like that where you can fight through it and still be some type of a problem because you're not even a problem at 100%, and that's just being honest. So OG said, "What I heard is Chase Young being limited." You're absolutely right, fam. Chase Young was limited with his calf yesterday. I'm gonna be honest with Chase Young. I'm not sure the severity of it. Um, at some point, we got to see Chase. I mean, hopefully, it doesn't go the Tyrese Halliburton route. I will say the situation with Halliburton, they was in the playoffs when he injured his calf. So right after he injured his calf, he fought through it. He didn't set out. I think he set out one game, and that was in the round before the finals. I think he set one game, if I'm not mistaken. But anyway, you know how the NBA playoffs is. You playing every other night, so he really didn't have time, to fully heal it up compared to Chase Young. The Chase Young done we don't play 5 games, so he been out 5 games. So if he's back at practice, I doubt he'll play this week, and then maybe he'll be fully participant next week. Far as the rest time, I mean, I believe he got enough time to at least not rush the process. Now, as I'm saying all of this, I'm just talking from a injury standpoint and stuff. I'm not saying like, oh, Chase Young is we need him. I really don't know. I really don't even know what Chase's ceiling is. Have he reached his ceiling? Has he not reached his ceiling? I do know coming out of Ohio State, the freak act, being a freak athlete, that was definitely in him. Now he was nagged up a little bit with injuries, so I don't know. I don't know what we're getting from Chase Young. So we'll see. If he plays Sunday, I mean, once he touched that field, I don't care nothing about a calf injury. So if I was the Saints, man, I mean, if he's back practicing this week limited, then we can kind of see you know, what's the deal moving forward after this week. Because at this point, man, the only thing that I'm losing sleep over in his book is the money that we're giving him. Because I was already skeptic about what he was making anyway. Did he deserve to get that type of bag? I don't I don't think he was. But anyway, let's see. Isaac Yadam, hamstring, did not practice. It's looking like he's gonna be out. Isaac Yadam. At this point, who that nation just well at this point, Kellen Moore just allowed this guy to be a backup. Because to be honest, that's why I thought he was brought to the team to be a backup. I wasn't expecting him to be in the start rotation. If you was expecting somebody to be in the start rotation, you should have got somebody a little bit better. And even when Isaac Janum was here, yeah, he excelled a little bit in Dennis' defense. Dennis is a more press defense. I get all of that. I get all of that. But with us bringing Isaac Yadam in, I didn't expect him to be starting. And he wasn't starting in DA's defense. He was just a solid rotational piece. So, with that being said, going to the Patriots side, I'll just talk about them once we start. So let's just go ahead and get started. We're gonna start with our offense versus the Patriots defense. So I'm gonna go ahead and read you guys the Patriots defense, some key players to look out for. And when I say these names, I will discuss a few of these guys. We're gonna start the defensive line. The defensive line, unless I'm mistaken, I don't know what style of defense they run, but I know just looking at Harold Landry. Harold Landry, he used to play in Tennessee, and they used him a lot to rush the passer. So I'm just assuming they run a 3-4. But anyway, the defensive line, I really don't see no big name like that unless it's somebody that's up and coming. Milton Williams, they got him as questionable. I don't know if this was after today's practice or but Milton Williams, I am familiar with him, and he's a solid piece. So going to the linebacker position, I do know Harold Landry the third. Harold Landry the third, like I said, he was a solid piece out in Tennessee. Um, and he was more of a pass rusher. So I don't know, how they gonna play us Sunday, but we'll see. He's a solid piece. Kristen Ellis is a solid start for them as well. And then you got Laven Chasen. Laven Chasen, I don't forgot what team he played for. I think it was the Vikings, but he's a solid piece as well. He's also on the injury report, questionable. So we'll see how that plays out. So really, what concerns me is on their defense. I'm gonna be honest. Our offensive line has been holding up good, pretty well. Rattler hadn't been running for his life. Hold on. Before I go any further, I see the MOD just arrived. So MOD, what's good with you, fam?
What's going on, man? I'm in the house.
Hell, not
I'm
much,
late.
fam.
I'm late, but I'm here though. Let's do it. I
Oh,
was
it's all
listening.
good.
You can
So
continue on.
so basically we're on our offense versus their defense. And I was just reading a few names that we're familiar with on the defensive side. It may be a few young pieces that you're more familiar with than I am. But what causes to concern with me, I believe this game is going to be, our receivers. Our receivers, Carlton Davis. Yeah, Mike T was giving Carlton Davis the work, but Mike T was giving Carlton Davis the work due to him being a more physical person than Carlton Davis. Now, with that being said, even though Carlton Davis was with the Bucks, Yucks, all that, he wasn't no full slouch. So Carlton Davis is known for his physicality. It just wasn't working with Mike T. So he's going to be jamming. Hopefully, he don't be jamming up Chris Olave. That's my concern. And then you go to the other DB they have, Christian Gonzalez. He's up and coming,
I
and
think I think
hopefully,
he's I think he's good too. I think Gonzalez is a good corner.
yeah, I believe he they number one. Just yeah, he was up and coming. So these two guys, hopefully they don't take our receivers out because I know for a fact Olave hasn't shown that physicality to get off of jams, stuff like that. And like I said, I don't know exactly how they're running their defense. It's looking like a 3-4, but I don't know if they more press or more zone. But just looking at the tape, I'm pretty sure the defensive coordinator gonna be like, okay, you put hands on Olave, we can jam him up, throw him off his route, and we should be successful. I believe that's how the Patriots defense or coordinator is going to address his guys this week. So, Uptown, you want to chirp more on this side of the ball?
Yeah, everybody got to be aware too that they head coach has a defensive mind too. That's Mike Brady that we're dealing with here. You know, so this is going to be, to be quite honest with you, right? Um, I would have to say this is probably going to be the most challenging defense that the Saints play all season, believe it or not, in the Patriots. I think Carlton Davis, compliments, Gonzalez on the other side. And I think this is a game that I think we would do best to run the ball and run the ball with efficiency. You know, that would probably take off some of the pressure of Olave or, Shaheed having to make a whole lot of, plays and stuff. And maybe perhaps this is the 1 week since we look like we're going to some kind of we've been steadily progressing to a youth movement or whatever, right? Maybe this is the week that maybe Devon Bailey, get more playing time. You know, seems that he's a big bodied, wide receiver, and he got some legs. He's that boy big and fast. You know what I'm saying? So maybe this might be the week where he gets a little bit more play. I wouldn't mind seeing him line up on the outside, for a couple of plays and all that kind of stuff too, but and I think it may be like that too, because although it haven't been happening at a rapid pace that I like, Kelly Moore offense is steadily, we're starting to see more and more and more of his offense and what it can feature and things like that. The only place that concerns me is that his offense have shown all season the ability to move the ball. But once we get into the red zone, that's where we having issues at. We got to start using the weapons that we have at our disposal if we're going to be successful in the red zone. Kellen need not to be throwing it so much, especially when you got a back like Kendre Miller that's been averaging every game he done played, and he been averaging at least 4 yards a carry.
Right.
Let him ram the ball in there, or give these big body wide receivers, a chance to make a play, in the red zone, like Bailey. Then you got Jawan Johnson, and then the 6'8" kid, Jack Stoll, and all of them. Man, you got to use these weapons, man, at wisely and clever when you get the opportunity. But this is a game that I think that of all the games we didn't had this season, that we would do best to run the football.
Agreed.
I
And I
hope
don't
that
know. I don't know the status of AK this. I know he was limited this week, but hey man, if that ankle is nagging him, let's just see how Kendra look getting the bulk of the workload. Just let AK sit this week. I'm saying if it's gonna be a nagging issue, that if it's a high ankle sprain, yeah, he need to be sitting because we're not in a position where we have to have him out there. Like last year, we running back. If he wasn't there, we had nobody at all. So
yeah,
this situation, man, if the ankle is bothering him, just let him sit out this week and let Kendra get some work and let Neil get some work and see how that's looking.
yeah, I would like to see a game where Kendrick get maybe 15, maybe 20 touches. You know, see what that do. Because the way Kendrick, I seen somebody else, man, in sports media. I think it was Ross Jackson. He said it. Dudes don't look like they be wanting to tackle him, bro. They don't. They like I told you, man. His running style reminds me a whole lot of Derrick Henry, CB, for real. Except he's, I guess, a more skillful runner, and I think he's a bit faster than what he is. But as far as the physicality is concerned, he brings a lot of physicality, man, to the game. You know, and we don't have to really rush AK out there too like that because we also got Devin Neal on the bench. You know, they
Right.
can Devin Neal can fill in and get the necessary carries to take and relieve Kendra and give him a breather. You know what I'm saying? We don't have to rush AK, and I'm not saying this because I just strictly out of the fact that I want to see Kendra Miller get more touches. But we in a position where our running back room is a bit deep now. You know, and we can do that. We can have somebody take a week off. It's 1 week, man. You know what I'm saying? Take a week off. You get that ankle right, get treatment on that ankle, get the right rest and recuperation. Then you can play in the next game, AK. You know what I'm saying? So if that's the case, then just let him sit out. Let Kendra do his thing. How some players be, they just be so they want to play so bad. They don't want nobody to take their spot and all that kind of stuff. And this, that, and third.
Oh, we got somebody that's trying to do that actually.
Yeah.
You
So
know who he is, right?
yeah. Who you talking about?
I'm talking about Caesar. You didn't see that earlier. What
Oh,
in the hill put out? He trying to practice this week and got a
yeah.
high ankle sprain.
Well, get your behind out of here, bro. Sit your behind down, bro. You understand what I'm saying? Like, we done seen what you featured this season. You know,
At 100%.
yeah. I don't know, man. Maybe it come back and be super Caesar. I don't know. You know what I'm saying? But I know right now, right? And from the what we have gotten from you so far, bro, man, you look like absolute dog doo doo. You look awful, bro. Man, just chill, bro. Get your ankle right, bro. All right, and stop worrying about if somebody gonna take your position because the way you was playing anyway, it was inevitable somebody gonna take your position anyway. You ought to be just happy that you're sitting down because you hurt, bro. You understand? You ought to be happy that it's just that, because they could have sit your ass behind because of your poor performance. Maybe getting
Right.
hurt is a blessing to you. Maybe it give you a chance to think about it, get your mind right or something, bro. Or maybe you getting hurt is a blessing to us as the fans. We'll find out. We'll find out, Caesar. But as far as AK is concerned, we can get by with not having AK this week. I really think so. The only thing that I think that Kendra don't do as well as him right now. I don't think Kendra is as good of a pass catcher as Elvin Kamara, but they ain't too many backs in the NFL that are as good of a pass catchers as Elvin Kamara. So it ain't, so Kendra not featuring that skill set, you know what I'm saying, shouldn't be held against him because Alvin Kamara and I'll say maybe Christian McCaffrey is the best at that in the NFL. So,
Right. You're right.
and my man Spence, you know, just continue doing what you're doing, bro. You know, don't make no mistakes or nothing like that. Don't make it too bigger than what it is. Now that you see what it feels like to win, see if you can do more plays, to contribute to us winning, where people not just saying, okay, he's not losing the games for us, and he's not winning the game for us too. So when they have those throws, like those throws that you missed this season, that I know inside your mind they still haunt you a little bit. You got to make those throws, bro. You know, continue doing what you're doing. Your touchdown to interception ratio is off the chain right now.
Right.
You got 6 touchdowns to one interception. I think you got a fumble. I think that's the only fumble that you lost was that was on a 4th down. Playing against San Francisco, final minutes of the game, trying to make something happen. I don't really fault that against you. And that wasn't your fault anyway, because if I'm not mistaken, I think Mr. Caesar missed the block and all that kind of stuff. He got beat like he been getting beat all season. So it is what it is. And we can, if we run the ball and be efficient with that, this is a game where this old school football can prevail. Running the football will open up all that passing stuff, all of it. And Kellen needs to know how to use that play action. I haven't seen much of that this season, and I don't know if he's setting it up because supposedly that big play, that big 87-yard play, was kind of set up because he put stuff on the film for opposing coaches to see, and he used that to his advantage, so that that Shaheed can be open, to make that big play. That's why I'm like, every week we seeing a total, this we seeing his offense evolve, and we also seeing Spencer Rattler evolve along with this offense. So that's pretty much it for the offensive side. To be honest with you, CB, unless you have some more stuff to contribute.
No, that's pretty much it. I mean, O line, they've been doing solid without having Spencer run for his life. So just continue to keep that up. Simpkins, your chances here to get in the lineup. We're hoping that you go ahead and push Reeves on out to a trade or something. I mean, that just is what it is right now. So just get in, do your thing. Penning, he questionable, but I'm not losing sleep over that. The backup, the Randall's just gonna have to come in and hold it down. So yeah, offensive line, man, just keep doing what you're doing, and we should be straight.
Hmm. I agree with that.
All right, so we can go ahead and go to our defense versus the Saints offense. So before we discuss, I'm gonna just go ahead and read some names to watch out for. Now, this side is a lot of names that we're familiar with, and hopefully does not give us an issue. Drake May. We seen him Sunday night for the ones that watched it. Um, Not Sunday, Monday night. The guy, he's developing. He's developing into a dog. We got Ramondre Stevenson. And then
Hmm.
don't forget about Trayvon Henderson from Ohio State, rookie. So they got a 1-2 punch. And then at receiver, we got Stephon Diggs. Y'all already know about him. No need to
Yeah.
discuss. Mario Douglas, Kayshawn Boyd, Mac Hollins. These is names that we know about. Um, Hunter Henry, we know about him. Austin Hooper is the backup tight end. So they got a little 1-2 punch tight end. And their offensive line is pretty solid. Morgan Moses, I believe they best guy on the offensive side. Then you got Will Campbell um out there as well. So the offense is looking pretty solid. Not only from just a name standpoint, but they've been producing. They've been producing this year. They 2-2 with that tie with the Bills. They went up with the Bills on primetime football. So guess we can go uptown. You can kick it off, man. How you think we should attack this offense?
First of all, right, we got to stop the run. Um, I are they saying that Trayvon Henderson they playing? They say I thought he was injured. Is he
Trayvon.
injured?
No, he's not on the injury report.
Okay, so he's on deck, right? So
Yeah,
yeah, we got to stop the run, bro. You understand what I'm saying? And I would have felt like that had he not been playing because the only really flaw with this cat Ramondre Stevenson is that he got a little case of fumbleitis right now, and I hope that we can capitalize off from that. I think he's lost. I think he's lost maybe 3 or 4 fumbles. This season he done lost. So he's vulnerable to fumbling the ball. You know what I'm saying? So we need to keep that in mind. Um, Also, right, young cornerbacks. I'm going to be honest with you. I'm a little nervous about them.
yes,
Going up against we don't like Diggs, but Diggs is a savvy veteran.
yep,
You know, he knows all the tricks of the trade. You know, so with that being said, Riley and Kool Aid, y'all need to do y'all homework, bro. Watch your film, check out the tendencies and stuff like that. Because if not, man, they can mess around and they can take your damn lunch. You understand? You don't want to be, embarrassing stuff by Diggs. And as a Saint fan, you know, he the last person on the offense I want to see have a good game. The very last.
correct.
So they got to be on top of they got to just be on top of their game, when it comes down to that. And as far as the defensive line is concerned, that's going to be a task too. Because I think the offensive line is a lot better than what some people think that it is. You know, and then with the addition of Will Clapp, you know, I know they much better. Will Clapp was the first round draft pick, and he come out of LSU, and I watch LSU, CB. So that's going to be a challenging stuff, for our defense. Like I say, to be quite honest with you, right? Of all the games that we done played that so far, I see this game as the biggest challenge, you know, believe it or not. So whichever way that we, perform in this game probably would tell me a whole lot about this team. Because I also think that this team, that the New England Patriots team, is well coached too, because that is one of the coaches when we was having our coaching search that I was hoping that the Saints would consider as well, Mike Vrabel. So it's going to be a tall task, man. On both sides of the ball. I hope that the safeties, the young safeties, and Kier, and I don't know if we're gonna let Houghton play. I don't know if Reed is still in the damn. That's what the last time I read, like yesterday, they saying he was still in a concussion protocol. So we're gonna see how that plays its way out. But this is a tall task. I'm not saying that the New England Patriots is elite or really, really good in any specific area of the offense. But every, area of the offense, features, someone and, and including multiple some people that can be a difference in the game. You know what I'm saying? So it's about it for that, CB, man. Just we have to you know run, contain the run. After we contain the run, we need to get after the quarterback, and we got to do that successfully, man, because we down in pressures, this season. I don't think we down, in actual sacks. I think we in the middle of the pack with that so far in the season. But as far as
Right.
pressuring the quarterback, we in the bottom of the league as far as that is concerned.
Correct. Kool-Aid had a two interception game last week. NFC Defensive Player of the Week. That's good and dandy, but this week you're gonna have a challenge because I'm pretty sure they're gonna put you right back out there as our number one corner. Um, Hopefully that was a confidence booster. What happened last week? Um, but
It better
Diggs,
be,
man, he
bro,
gonna be a
because
dog. Diggs is a dog, man. So
they're gonna test him, bro. I ain't
yeah,
even considered that too, CB. Now that you play of the week, bro,
yeah,
it's that dude Diggs, bro. He trying to make it his business, man, to take and embarrass you, bro. You understand what I'm saying? Yeah, I must admit, you know, I think he's a little soft little dude and all this, that, and the third, and that has nothing. I don't think he's soft on the football field, but off the football field, if you will. Yeah, everybody familiar with what's going on in his personal life. You understand? But he the type of cat, man, that he gonna want to get some shine, bro. He gonna want to get some shine. So y'all better lace him up, you and Quincy. You
yeah,
know, you and Quincy. That game that he had Sunday night. Um, I think it was Sunday, right, huh, Jerry? The game Sunday night, bro. He didn't have no touchdowns, but I think he ended up with 145 yards receiving. It was something ridiculous like that, CB. You know
right,
what I'm saying? Which means that Drake May is looking for him too. You
yeah,
know, so it ain't it's more than just him just being out there or whatever, right? And he looks like they number one receiver.
yeah.
When it comes down to it.
And
But
then Matt Hollins, Matt Hollins is they slot guy. So Alante got to be ready for that. Matt Hollins, he had a significant role with the Bills. When he was there, I believe this is his first year with New England, but with the Bills, he had a significant role. So just gotta be ready in the backfield. So I don't know what type of plan we're gonna have. Is we're gonna play man? Um, I would rather, to be honest, I want to see what a more press type of play calls. I want to see more of those with our young guys compared to
they
more
say,
of a zone type of defense because that's not working for it ain't working for Kool Aid.
they say that Staley been doing a little bit of that, in because Kool Aid is really he's really a press man cover corner.
Yeah,
Um, I think Quincy Riley is to a certain extent too. But hey, highlight that JT comment on CB. Um, I was hearing that this is the week that this dude might play. They said he been practicing.
Yep.
That's what I heard. You I'm getting to the point, bro, where like I don't even care no more about him. I wish I'm to the point where I wish we can trade him. You know, it's that dude is so frustrating. You know what I'm saying? Dealing with, it ain't even funny. We we should just need to leave him alone. Just tell Wody to go somewhere else, man. Now, if they and I know that they probably, I don't even know that, man, because Mickey is such a clown right now. But I just don't know, man. What to say with that dude, man. And who's to say that when he comes back that he's gonna be this big beast? You know,
Correct. Correct.
man.
I'm liking what I'm seeing from Chris Rump and Fidel Diggs is getting thrown in there a little bit. I mean, ain't nobody really getting just taken out the game like they non-existent on that defensive line. Now, have we been getting the crazy amount of far set? While to be honest, we in the middle to upper of the pack in the league, far as the sets go. So, I mean, we getting pressure to the cornerback. I mean, to the quarterback. So we're not looking too crazy. And shout out Carl Granderson is really what Chase there. Yeah, you could make an argument that Granderson was still our best pass rusher. Because I'm gonna be honest, Chase Young ain't showed he hadn't showed me enough for this contract that he got anyway. Not this much. Now, have he hit his ceiling or not? I don't know. But to be honest, I mean, I agree with you. I really ain't I'm not losing sleep over the guy. Like I said earlier in the show, the only thing I'm losing sleep over when it contains to him is the bag he got. The
Yeah,
bag he got that's going to waste. At least I want to see what product do we got.
yeah. We at least should be able to we paid for that. If you will. You know what I'm saying? We need to get what pretty much what we paid for. When it comes down to that. So but that dude is frustrating, man. I'm not holding my breath. See him come back because I thought he'd be back by now because people talked about, it was a minor, injury and all that. And, and it don't take much time to heal and all that kind of stuff. I don't know about that. You know, I don't know about that. But I'm like, look, man, if you're gonna play, bro, play. If not, man, that's what I don't understand. What are we in week 6 now?
Yeah, this
Week
week
six, right?
6. Yep.
Couldn't they have put him on injured reserve and have him designated to come back during week 6?
Yep.
Bruh, but I heard that, not heard, but pretty much confirmed from different sources, especially especially our known sources in Saints media, that it was actually cheaper to re-sign him. That was one of those. He was one of those players that would come around every. You know how it is, CB. There's always a player that come around every so often that is cheaper and less taxing, on your salary cap if you just re-sign him back. And I think that's what the deal was here with Chase Young because I'm pretty sure that he would want to be all out straight up free agency trying to determine what he want to do and all that kind of stuff. I'm pretty sure of that. But it is what it is, man. You got to be a professional about it too.
Correct.
So we gonna see, man. And if he does, play Sunday, I doubt he'd be effective. Your first game in for the season. You haven't even acclimated yourself. Even though you can do it, but you ain't fully acclimated yourself to that type of game speed yet. You know, they usually take a game or two. So that's how that would be. So what you got to
Right.
say, CB?
I mean, that's pretty much it on my thoughts. I mean, like I said, the ones that stood out when I'm looking at this offense is just the DBs. Now, as far as stopping the run, yes, we got to stop the run. Um, but if we do stop the run and we forcing him to throw the ball, it's also concerning. Given our DB, so it's gonna be a huge challenge. Alante, man, I didn't think I would be this concerned for you. I thought this the year you supposed to be trying to get a bag because this the last year of your deal. So I thought you were trying to get a bag with us. I don't know how that's looking. It ain't far as a big bag. I definitely don't see no big bag for you at this point, unless something shift and you really getting busy or whatever. But I'm not seeing it. I'm not seeing it right now.
It's gonna have to shift within this season. You know,
Right,
meaning that that he's gonna have to get expeditiously better than what he's been these last 5 games. So he gonna have to make it happen, bro. I agree with you. He's gonna have to make it happen.
right. All right. Well, that's pretty much it. That's pretty much it on this side, man.
You
Anyone
got
else we need to get on before we wrap the show up? I say Blake Groupie.
yeah. Let's get on his ass, bro. You understand? No, he don't deserve no grace,
No,
CB. No, he don't deserve no grace at all, bro. Make your kicks, bro. Make your kicks, bro. I know we have been in there and we haven't been able to score, touchdowns, but we need to still come up with points, even if it's the 3 points, bro. You the captain of the damn special teams and all this. They didn't put a C all over your chest and all this stuff, bro, and all this. I'm balling, doing training camp. Only missed one on field goal during training camp. They say, and that's because the weather was bad. You look garbage, bro. You done missed a field goal in every game, I think, except one this season. But you still end up with 5 misses. So it's like it's an average of 1 miss a game. I'm gonna be
correct.
honest with you, bro. You suck right now, you know. And just for full disclosure, he's my fantasy team kicker too. In fantasy,
I hate it for you on that end of things.
yeah. Well, I did that based on the fact, he was the man, and he didn't miss no kicks and stuff, and he looked really, really good in preseason and all that kind of stuff. And then you then came to the damn real season, and you absolutely suck. No doubt about it.
Correct.
NFL kickers, bro. NFL kickers ain't supposed to be missing no field goals throughout
Nope.
the course of the game. None. And we know what good kicking looks like, bro. You can't fool us. You can't fool us. You can't fool Saints fans with that, bro. We got one in the goddamn Hall of Fame. So how you gonna fool us? We know exactly what good kicking look like. Exactly what it looked like. We got one in the freaking Hall of Fame. So you can't fool us with that, bro. We know what that look like, whoa. Make your kicks, bro, and me and CB won't be on here dragging for your ass again. Next thing you know, you keep missing too many kicks, we're gonna start calling for your head.
Yep.
How
Call for
about that?
Charlie to get in here.
Yeah, we can get Charlie in here. I mean, hell. You missing kicks anyway. Let's give Charlie a chance. We know he gonna miss some kicks. I mean, you know, nothing from nothing is what, CB?
Nothing.
Hmm. So we'll put Charlie in. Get your mind right, bro. Get your mind right. That's it, man. That's it for us today. Get your stuff together, groupie. Get it together.
Well, you got any final thoughts, Uptown, as far as the game go, whatever?
Just, just try and continue some of the same stuff that you did last week, especially the defense. If they can, if we can be on the plus side of the turnover ratio, that should bode good for us. You know, uh, that's good because it showed, last week the defense did show the ability to take the ball away, and that's a good, ability to have as a team. So just continue doing that, man. Go out and play with some confidence. Uh, hopefully the confidence that you guys gained from winning the game, and that's about it. CB.
Right. So Saints, I mean, we got a tough team. This ain't no slouch that we about to go up against. Defense, I just hope we can do what we're supposed to do defensively. I'm looking forward to seeing more from Sanker, a hidden gem that we got out there, and he's playing his tail off. Justin Reed, if you're going to be back in the game, we're looking to see something from you. And Jordan Howard, I'm pretty sure his reps going to increase. So y'all try to hold it down back there. DBs, like I said, you guys are my concern. Prove me wrong. Far as keeping a mobile QB contained, I believe we can. I believe we can do that if we was able to do it with Kyler Murray. So offensively, like we said earlier, man, we just got to keep Spencer protected. Let Spencer do what he do. Continue to grow. I don't think he's going to turn the ball over like that. Um, right, not like that. I don't think he's going to turn the ball over. So rushing attack. I believe that's going to be the key to success. But with that being said, I am looking forward to Chris Olave taking this challenge, Rashid taking the challenge. Show us your physicality. Show us that you can bang with these physical receivers, and let's get this thing rolling. So that's
Mm.
pretty much it. Who that nation? Just be sure to like, subscribe, follow the page. As you guys seen earlier, we've got the Twitter page on there. You guys can go check out the Twitter page, sub up to us from that page, the YouTube page, the Facebook page. Um, and that's pretty much it. Who that nation? This the WDN Chatline podcast. Let's go get this W Sunday, and we out. Who that?
Who that, baby? For life.